Hello there, it's time for an update. Oh, it's hot though. It's 37 degrees while I'm filming this and my fan is off in my office while I'm doing this, so just bear with me. I might have to wipe away a bit of sweat every now and again. I apologise for that in HD. So anyway, time for a quick update, maybe a quick review of what's happened. And I wasn't planning on doing this at the start of December, maybe the end of December, but review what happened in 2020, you know, end of year review. What have I done, what haven't I done, so on and so forth. So anyway, I'm officially on holidays and on two legs. More on that in a moment. So grab a cup of tea, something a bit nicer, a bit cooler. I'm definitely going to grab a drink and roll the intro. Now, I started 2020 with a flourish. I tried a few different things with my videos. I had a mid-year pause to, I wasn't that happy. I had to sort out my lighting. I bought a new camera, which is this one, which is okay. Nice little Sony camcorder. And just tried to lift the production values, get them off the floor, which I thought they were. And I think I had some success. So since that little mid-year pause, I ramped up my videos. I've almost gone to almost weekly when I can. And so far I've got a tremendous amount of support and positive feedback from both the old crew who stuck with me and new subscribers. I've had 1,000 new subscribers this year, which is fantastic. So very big thank you, thumbs up. I want to change one or two minor things to make this a bit more sustainable, but I'm on the right track and I'm really happy with how YouTube's going, so there we are. However, the fly in the ointment was a little over a month ago, as the temperature got a bit hotter, when it got to 30 plus every day. You see, we have this thing called winter. I don't know if you've got it over there. It lasts about 2 weeks, and then spring, that lasts about 3 weeks, and that's it, it's done. Okay, so I started to walk my dog Penny, who's running around the office as we speak, so I've locked her out. I started to walk her in the morning, and I don't know, in the process, not doing my stretches properly, whatever. I had a problem with my Achilles tendon before. I had a bit of a, that didn't feel really good when I came back from a walk, and I thought, oh yeah, it's just my Achilles tendon, I've stretched it, I've done something. Have a few ice baths, stay off it for a bit of ointment. She'll be right, no worries. One day it just went ping, and my pain levels went to 8 out of 10. I couldn't walk, I was hobbling around in agony. So a quick visit to the doctor. Turns out, long story short, I tore a calf muscle, the soleus, which is the one that runs up and down your Achilles tendon. It's only a micro tear, it's not, it's not the end of the world, but geez, it hurt. And anyway, I was told stay off it completely, don't do anything. I had to hobble around in crutches if I did get up, for about 2 weeks, I think it was. So I didn't do anything. And then I went from there, saw a podiatrist, got a fair bit of therapy. I've been going to the pool, swimming, got some new shoes. Finally on the mend, and it was really, really frustrating. Now, what has this got to do with modelling, you might ask? And fair question. Is unfortunately, or fortunately, it's a good situation what I got here. What you're seeing here, this is both my model room and my office. I work from home downstairs. I've got a nice little bedroom-sized little office here, and I work at the desk, which is where the camera is right now. And behind me is my modelling bench, and yeah, it's great. I model while I work. It's a stress relief for me. It's fantastic. I'm downstairs most of the time. However, I couldn't go up and down a big flight of stairs with the way my foot was, so I had to be upstairs for this last little while. And I've got a small hobby set up there. I've got a little toolbox with some basic assembly tools, and so I've been stuck up there, and I haven't been able to film anything. I haven't been able to paint anything because my compressor and my airbrushes are all down here. So yeah, that's my excuse for no new videos this last month or so. However, I haven't been idle. What have I been up to since? Okay, first, I'm going to show you a few kits that I've picked up recently. So let's do a bit of quick show and tell, and then I'll get into what I've actually been working on. First of all is Edward's Mark 1 Spitfire, the 148 scale. This is a Profi pack, so it's got all the whiz-bang goods and so forth in it. Seems like every man his dog's buying this kit. Now the reason I bought this one is, well, first of all, this is the best Mark 1 Spitfire you can get in any scale. Unfortunately, Tammy, I haven't done it in man scale. Ravel's got one, and I have one, and it's a lot of work to get it to where you want it. It's a nice out-of-the-box kit. But anyway, I have a Dunkirk problem with the Spitfire. Ever since I saw that movie, I wanted to do that final scene. When Fortis, he's flying in, gliding in, not flying. He's feathered prop, he's out of fuel, landing on that beach. I wanted to do that landing scene. I normally do all my aircraft wheels up. I really wanted to do that wheels down, and unfortunately flaps down. There's not a single kit out there, apart from a really old ancient Airfix kit, which I bought, looked at it, threw it in the bin. Well, gave it to Harry, sorry. Threw it in the bin, gave it to Harry, same thing. Hi Harry. So he's got that old Airfix kit that does have the flaps down. No other kit's got it. I sort of went, oh, what am I going to do? This came out, I looked at the, some other guys had bought it, and I thought, oh, this is pretty much externally, it's the best Mark 1 Spitfire that anyone makes. Doesn't have flaps down, but I can get the flaps kit for it. So I'm getting that. One day I will do that diorama. And the good thing about 148 scale is that size, it's good compromise. It's not 132 where you can get really big detail, but this thing is just so well detailed out of the box, it's amazing. You know, raised rivets, photo etch parts, resin, the whole lot. But also the size, so to make that landing diorama is not going to be a massive thing that's going to fill up the cupboard, but it's still going to look really, really good. So yeah, Edward Spitfire, love it. Let's go to the next one. Now, one of my most popular videos this year was the Revell 144 scale submarine that I did using black basing and hairspray chipping. And I thought, oh, I'm going to go to the next stage with my subs, and I picked up this little AFE club. It's 1/350 scale, which is, you know, it's tiny, as you can see, it's as long as the box, 25 centimeters. That's a really nice box art on the back there, never noticed that before. It was one of their aircraft carrying mega subs, so it's actually quite big. Now, the only reason I bought this was, I mean, the subject matter is interesting, but I just want to practice that, the water effects. I've been putting it off for years. I've got all this stuff in the cupboard there. I've never sat down and go, just do it. So that's what that's for. I want to give it a go, see if I can do a proper water effects, and if I can do it well with this one, move on to, you know, some bigger submarines and so forth. So that one. The last one I got was actually 2. No, it's more than that, but I'm not going to tell you about all the other ones. Okay, Academy's F14. Now this box art is ridiculously bad for a couple of reasons. This is their new tool, 1/72 scale Tomcat F14A, and it uses the box art from their old tool, F14A, which you can't think of two more completely different kits. This kit's astonishing. It's the quality of it. It's 1/72 scale. It's amazing. Okay, it's a very, very, very well made kit. It's almost a shrunk Tamiya 148 scale, and I've built that one last year. I think I did that one, and I've got a few more obviously I want to do soon. But this kit's fantastic, and that's why I got 2 of them. It's just, and I've built one. I've pre-assembled it. I was going to do a build review, and then Penny the dog snapped my leg. Anyway, I don't know what else to say about this, but I'll lead it all to the review. But the Academy, they shot themselves in the foot twice. One for the stupid box art. It's literally the same as the other one, so people are going to get confused which one they buy. You know, they'll buy the old one, and everyone tells them, hey, this thing's the best thing since sliced bread, and you know, and it's rubbish. And 2, you can build every single, well, almost a late, mid, late A, all the B's, all the D version Tomcat. So pretty much all the main Tomcat varieties, all the parts are in here. They're all on the sprues. They just don't tell you. Yeah, it's not in the instructions. They say, don't put that part on if you want a D, or don't put that part on if you want a B. But it's there. All they had to do is print another sheet of decals, you know, and then it'd be the best all-round out-of-the-box Tomcat kit on the market. But anyway, far be it for me to tell, you know, companies what to do, like Airfix. Okay, let's move on to the next bit. Oh, Penny, shush. It's alright. Come on in, girl. Penny, come on. Here we go. Here's Penny. Here, come on. Up, up, up. There she is. Yes. Alright. Yes, hello. Yes, you want a kiss. I know. You're on camera. I know, it's hot. Alright, down you go. Come on, girl. Get down. Away you go. No, off you go. Sorry about that. Come on, Penny. Now, before I move on to show you all what I've been doing upstairs, because I've actually done quite a bit. Yeah, quite a lot. It's amazing what you can do when you're sitting down on your bum, you know, for 4 weeks, not being able to do anything. Here's a nice sneak peek of what I call Kill the Squirrel. See if I can put that photo up of the squirrel. It's a problem that I have, and I'm sure all of it. Does anybody else have that problem? You know, you look at your stash cabinet, mine's over there, and you go, oh gee, I've got so many kits. Then another kit comes up and you're like, oh, I'll buy that. And over time you just accumulate and you look at these big you know, mounds of kits, and you never bloody start them. So I'm just put a few photos up. I sold a lot of kits. I'm never going to get through all the ones I've even got left over. I call it, you know, the Becca Hobby Store. Somebody actually thought I was a hobby store online when I put a listing up. They thought, oh, where's your store located? And I'm like, in my office. Anyway, I don't have a bigger problem as some other people do, but I still have a problem. And so killing the squirrel means, yeah, I've worked out what I'm going to do next year, more or less. I've pulled out a few kits, and then I'm locking the cabinet. So what did I actually get up to? Well, do you remember my build review? No, it wasn't a build review, I just reviewed it, just had a look at it, of Academy's new Enterprise, or 1/700 scale CV6. Well, I started it, here it is. So what I've done, I don't know if you can see in there, but I've opened up most of the doors on the elevator, it's not the elevator, the hangar doors, and I've started to make just a little bit of extra detail on the inside of the hangar deck. Okay, because I'm going to pose, I think I'll pose the front elevator down, and yeah, I'll put a few things inside. This is a fantastic kit. It's one level up from a snap kit. It's the fit is amazing. I haven't come across any major problems yet. All the problems have been my own problems. The biggest downfall of the Academy kit is the aircraft are a bit naff. They're a bit lacking in detail. So I bought a Flyhawk set, and these are 10 times as good. They've got panel lines, for instance. Whoa. Yeah, just the details are crisper. The wheels aren't just blobs of nothing, and there's weapons and so on and so forth. So I'll probably put a few of the Academy ones inside the hangar, and I'll put the rest of the Flyhawk on top. I almost went nuts and I had in my cart, I had, you know, 20mm Auricons and 1/700 scale photo etch, and I had resin bits, and I'm like, nah, I'm never, if I buy all that stuff and try to put it all on, I mean, yeah, it is a big ship, but in 1/700 scale, it's tiny, okay, for my hands at least. I thought, no, if I bought that stuff, I'd never finish the bloody thing. So I thought, no, stick with the aircraft. They're one piece, more or less. You know, can't be that hard to stuff up. Famous last words. And I'll go from there. I should have a good stab at finishing this. So I'm hoping to do this holidays, and I'm hoping to. I'll try to film a bit of it now that I can get downstairs a bit more regularly. Okay. Stugs. I bought some Stugs. These are 1/48 scale Tamiya, so-called shake and bake. They weren't really shake and bake. Should I take some photos? I probably should take photos and put them up instead of showing in the camera. Anyway, whoops, just broke apart. Oh, it didn't. There it goes. Back together. Yeah, this is part of my double build idea. Build two things side by side and paint or detail them a bit differently. With this one, what I actually did is I squeezed 3 aftermarket and resin sets together to get two lots. So, you know, I've got spare tracks, and I've built up a photo etch a rack in the back there of that one, and yeah, not necessarily fully shake and bake. There's actually a bit of fit issue here and there with the die cast hull that they use, and I did something I probably shouldn't show in the camera, but yeah, I added weld detail almost everywhere, building on what I did with ISU 152. So that was fun, just doing a little bit of extra detail, and that's what I like about 1/48 scale armor. It's not as big a project in your head as 1/35. And yeah, these are ready to go. So I'm going to paint these maybe next year, maybe not, maybe just chuck them back in the cupboard, who knows. But I'm going to paint one using a fairly authentic Panzer Grey, which means almost as black as that monitor you can see behind me. And then the other one I'm going to paint, I don't know which one, toss a coin. The other one I'm going to paint with a bit more stylistic flair, bit of modulation, bit of blue in my Panzer Grey. I can't believe I'm saying that. I always used to be a stickler, but who cares, you know, they're models. Another double build. Oop, upside down, Miss Joe. I don't know if you can tell what those are. This one is built, this one's almost built, it's just a bit dry fitted here and there. These are the Amtech by way of, I think, which one was that? That was Tamiya, and this is Academy. You can tell by the colour of the plastic. This is the Focke-Wulf TA-183, the single engine jet fighter that was never built, but I think after the war, Kurt Tunk, he developed it into a bit of a longer fighter. Anyway, long story short, these are great kits. These are fantastic kits. I got the Academy one on special for, I don't know how much it was, but like almost half price. And I wasn't expecting much, give it a stab. The Tamiya one I got because the person who sold it to me knew, Becca, you like doing wheels up. I said, yeah. So I've got this, the Tamiya kit, which is just the Amtech reboxed. And they give you a little Kettenkrad and, you know, all this sort of stuff. And he said, yeah, this one doesn't have landing gear. And it doesn't have decals. I'm like, oh, Tamiya decals? Rubbish. Landing gear, don't want it, I'll take the kit off your hands. So I built this one wheels up, and I've actually built this one wheels down. I've got the landing gear over there all ready to go. So going to contrast these two. The other thing I did, however, is, and the first time I've ever done it, and you know, I'm a so-called aircraft modeler and I've never done this, is I riveted the entire airframe of the Tamiya one, because I like Tamiya plastic. It's a lot easier to use, and can you hear the music? I put in panel lines because the panel line's missing everywhere on the Amtech. Very simple mould. Yeah, so that was great. I really enjoyed getting out my new Rosie the Riveter tools and having a stab at this, and yeah, it just looks so much better with that extra detail. Now these are pretty much, and I'm going to make a big dig at Airfix here, and whenever chance I can I will. These the 25-year-old kits mouldings. I mean they're new. You know, this was made last year, and this was, I don't know, probably a couple of years old. But they're an old Amtech, now defunct company I think, and fits perfect. The detail's really crisp. The panel lines that are there are quite a few, they're really nice and crisp and sharp and not too deep and wide like a Death Star trench. And the instructions are really good and everything goes together. And of course Academy, what they've done, you know, good on Academy, they've included a full mask, canopy mask set, and a decal sheet that's so exhaustive that I can actually decal both of them with that one and it's cartograph decal. So it's like, phew. I can't say anything bad about these things. I mean, they're a little bit soft detail overall in terms of shape, but you know, it's a what if subject. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into these, and yeah, we'll see how they look. Will I paint them in the same scheme or different schemes? I don't know, but really fun kits to put together. Last one, Academy's F14. Look at that. See, at 1/72 scale, it's quite big. You know, as the pilots used to say, you're flying a tennis court out there. Whoop! I've lost a tail. These are just liquid tape glued on. So you can see a lot of this stuff is not actually glued together, it's just taped together, because I was doing this as a build review before my leg stuffed it. So I will get back to this in New Year, because 2021 will be the year of the Tomcat, and I'm really looking forward to this. This was such a sweet thing to put together, and as I discovered along the way, oh, you can use that part for this and that part for that. I've made a full spreadsheet of which parts you can use for which version, and yeah. The only thing I'm a bit concerned about is wheels up. There's a lot of guys have told me, the ones who have built this, wheels down, they've said, yeah, the parts here for the wheelbase might not fit properly. It's alright, I've got a lot of experience in converting wheels up from wheels down, because, you know, the Tomcat, I mean, it's just gorgeous in flight. It's actually, but having said that, it's pretty much the only aircraft I actually like on the ground, wheels down, as I do in flight. So, yeah, I might do one. I'd love to do one as a catapult launch, okay? You know, the wings open up on this, but there's no slats or flaps deployable. But the Fujimi 172 kit, if you can get it nice and cheap, might be able to kit bash the wings together, I don't know. Anyway, there we have it. That's the ones I've been building upstairs. So before I want to talk about 2021, which I'm sure everyone's looking forward to after 2020, I want to review this year at Becker's Models. So, what a year. I don't need to tell you what a very strange year this has been, which now seems like a decade long. And I'm sure all of you had a flurry of plans and ideas and kits you wanted to start and you were really getting into, and hey, maybe some of you got some of them done during quarantine. I sort of had the opposite effect for some reason this year. So anyway, so at the start of the year, I set out to do three main things. First, I didn't want to worry about competitions anymore. I just wanted to, you know, build a kit, and if competition rolled around, put it in. Didn't have to worry about that this year, did we? No, all the major competitions around my neck of the woods, even though Australia, we were able to almost officially get rid of COVID. I think we are officially gone now, so that's great going into 2021. But yeah, so no comps, that was easy. Stress relief there. Second, I wanted to attempt some double builds, and as you saw just a few minutes ago, I was able to do a few things. I didn't want to do all the ones I wanted to do. I mean, I really wanted to do a pair of big F14s. Some Tamiya kits, a D and maybe two Ds, or a D and a B, or a D and an A, whatever. I really want to took a stab at the heavy weathering that those F14s have, and you know, I don't know, I just didn't feel like I was ready to do that yet. So, the other thing was my Star Destroyers. I reviewed the Star Destroyers, I did a build review, and I showed you how to modify them to make them into the different classes. So technically I did build both, but they're not finished, they're just sitting in a box. I mean, you could build them in an afternoon, so that's cheating really. I didn't go any further with that, because what I really want to do with them involves a lot of head down working out lighting, LEDs. And you know, again, it's another thing I'm a bit scared of, even though I've got a big bloody Zvezda Star Destroyer in the cabinet over there, which I fully lit up. You know, it's got a 200 fibre optics in it. I'm still a little bit hesitant to do that, but I have to get over that hump of being scared of stuff and just bloody well have a shot at it, you know. And the third thing I wanted to do was, which is basically, I've just said that, was tackling big projects. I really wanted to get my teeth into it and have, you know, I've been building, what, 4 or 5 years now, I've been building little things and trying things out. I've got a few, you know, built a Tamiya F14, that's about the biggest plane I've done so far. And yeah, I really want to tackle something big and complicated and, you know, wow, really something I can put in the cabinet and just go, whoa, I did that, fantastic. Never got around to it. So anyway, I'll start talking about what really happened. And the first thing is I started that massive trumpeter A6 intruder. I'll put a few photos up here of where I got. I mean, I built the wings, you know, 27 parts per wing from memory. I modified them so they're removable because that takes, I think it took 35 or a huge amount of, about a foot. It reduced the wingspan by a foot. The reason I did that, and I used magnets and some rods and so forth to do that, was so that I could take it with me down to Melbourne, 1,000 miles away, 1,600 k's away, for the Model Expo down to Melbourne in June every year. And you know, I booked the tickets, you know where this is going, booked an Airbnb hotel where to stay for 3 or 4 days. You know, it's the biggest competition and biggest expo we have in the country. Never been, really was you know, all geared up, and I was working on the intruder pretty much, you know, behind the camera as much as possible while I was doing other stuff in front of the camera. And yeah, so COVID hit, travel bans hit, gone. So the opportunity to do it went away, and then I tripped myself up by trying to replicate the bomb load. Now the trumpeter kit has rubbish Mark 82 bombs. I tried to fix them, try to make them a little better. I put some photos up. I didn't do a good job. I bought some aftermarket bombs to make up. I think I bought 4 or 5 of these, you know. I won't talk about that. They were rubbish. And then I did the math and I'm like, oh, if I wanted to get resin, because yeah, that's the other thing. I bought some Edward multiple ejector racks, the MERs that the bombs sit on. You know, there's 4 of them, which of course Edward only sells 3 at a time in a box. I had to buy 6. So, you know, this thing's getting expensive, this big bloody kit. And then I did the math on how much for 22 resin, you know, bombs, and it's like almost half as much as the kit, you know. So that stopped me in my tracks, and I just went, nah, that's it. Put it away, I'll tackle that another time. However, in the end, I actually did finish something. I did finish 9 kits. One of those was a double. It had 2 little 172 scale. Let's see if I can I think I took photos. Yeah, I did. I did them behind the scenes. Little FT17s from Flyhawk, I think they were. Lots of fun. Absolutely tiny, ridiculously small. So yeah, 10 kits basically I finished. As you can see, I'll roll through a few photos up here if I can. Most of these were pretty small projects, you know. And some of them I rushed, some of them I just finished it, threw it in the cupboard, and that's fine, you know. And I think I've still got most of them. Just looking around at the cupboard, yeah, I got most of them, you know, and they're okay, and I'm happy with them, but I'm not ecstatic about it. I'm not like, oh, that was great. Although my favourite was that Revell U-boat. I really enjoyed that, and that's been my most popular video this year. And it made me consider getting the 172 version. So, well. That's all well and good. 10 kits, that's pretty good innings, but like I said, I can do better. We can do better. So what about unfinished? Now you wouldn't believe this, but I started and didn't finish 20 kits. 20. A few of those I've shown before, like the F14, the Enterprise, the Hellcat that I did for the build review. And look, it's fine again to start stuff and put it away, you know, that's alright. But I didn't start any of the big projects I wanted to start. Didn't touch the CH53 Super Stallion I wanted to do, you know. So yeah, I'm not that happy about that. I'm sure all of you out there have done the same thing. You've started stuff, and you know, it goes on the shelf of doom, or it goes to the back of the cupboard because you're like, lose interest. So that's where I'm at for 2020. So I'll just give you a quick update what I'm going to do next. So thank dog below. I'm on the mend. It's holiday time. I've got the rest of December off. Just a little bit of work over the Christmas period, but that's just part-time stuff. Take an hour or 2 a day. Great. Finally get some time off. It's going to be stinking hot, but I'm going to try to clear the workbench because I've got a lot planned for next year. I'm going to finish the Beast Killer, the ISU 152. That's been sitting here in its box for all this time while my legs have been healing. And the Academy Viper, the 135th scale AH1Z Viper. Which, you know, because of the way that thing builds, once I get the cockpit done, I just need to finish painting the crew figures' faces and their helmets. I think that's all I've got to do for the cockpit. Put a photo up here of the cockpit that I heavily detailed and got stuck on. The way the rest of the thing builds, and I've actually pre-assembled almost everything, it should go together quickly. I've already done the paint test because I'm actually going to paint it as an Australian Army What If version in tricolour, and our version of Southeast Asia camo. So that's going to be real fun to do, and I'll put that up on my group. I've started a group on Facebook for that kit, so that's going to be great. The other thing I'm going to do, I've bought some new display cabinets, and I'm going to upgrade the dodgy IKEA little ones that I've got here that I've tried. I tried sealing them, I've put some LED lights in, they're okay, they're not the best. You know, I've bought some clips so you can put extra shelves in and stuff, but it still looks a bit naff. So I've invested some money and I want a place to put big kits, right? So something to finish, so I'll be doing that over the holidays. And I also bought some really funky backdrops, photo backdrops. And I'm setting up a proper photo booth on the bench here because my bench is quite long. I've got a spare bit of room on the end there, so I can take not just better finished photos but some work in progress photos as well. So yeah, December's going to be fun. Let's go into 2021. Now I said I've got some big plans next year. Look, I really don't want to plan anything. I think that's the major problem I have sometimes with modelling. I go too crazy and go, oh, I'm going to do this month, that month, whatever. You know, I should be more say la vie, let it go. So the only thing I plan to do next year is to bury the squirrel, stop getting distracted by little kits and things that come across the bench and what have you. I mean, I've got a great stash, I've got great ideas already ready to go, I've got stuff that I want to do, so let's just bloody do them, you know. So next year I'm going to go in full, down the torpedoes, full speed ahead. I'm going to tackle some really big kits, and if I stuff them up, who cares, bin them, whatever, tape over them, you know. If they're not perfect, who cares? I don't care. I just want to get them done because, you know, these are the stuff that I get into the hobby, you know, in the first place, is to do these really fun things. So that includes the 132 Intruder, that includes the 148 Super Sea Stallion that I never got around to starting last year, even though it was going to be my big one, and one or two, and literally only one or two. So I'm only going to do 4 or 5 big kits next year. I'm hoping that's all, instead of, you know, my normal start 10, do 10 little ones and start but don't finish 20 little ones. I really want to do some more Tomcats. The Academy ones have been a revelation, so definitely going to get into those because they're super quick to build up, and the fun in those is the painting and the weathering. But I also really want to tackle and get onto that Tamiya 148 or even a Tamiya 132 scale Tomcat. We'll see. And finally, this is the thing, I really want to be doing this next year, and more than anything else, I want all these builds to be really dynamic, and I really want to share that with you guys, show you how I do wheels up, how I display them in the air, in the water or flying over the water. Definitely not static models, okay? I really get into them, and you can see the, you know, my office is full of photos and artwork. I mean, above my desk I've got a massive Zero in flight. I mean, this is what I really love. I'm not saying, and actually as I look across the screen there, I've got a Tomcat that's wheels down. It does look good wheels down, I must admit. But yeah, I'm not taking anything away from the guys who do wheels down and other stuff, but that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. So that's my big thing for next year. And, you know, planning, whatever, I'm just going to do it, okay? Now for YouTube, as I've said before, pre-torn muscle, thanks Penny, she's at the door, she wants to get out and go for a walk. Still can't walk, her poor thing. Look, I was pretty happy how things are going. I'm going to make it a little bit more informal, so a bit more of this, but not so much waffle. But just a little bit more, you know, on the bench, not as much super editing and making, you know, whiz-bang videos and that sort of stuff. Not my thing. More hands-on on the camera. I really get a lot of experimenting and trying out techniques and showing them to camera. I think I've got a bit of a knack for explaining how things work, and I get a lot of feedback from you guys about, oh, thanks for showing me how that pre-shading does, or the black basing, or the chipping, or whatever. So that's what I'm going to mainly do going into 2021, and that's how I'm going to display my builds, basically, is show you, and also, you know, there's going to be a lot of faults, because I reckon I'm going to do a lot of stuff-ups next year, but don't care, let's get into it. Alright. Thank you for sticking around until the end, and I really want to say thank you to new subscribers who've jumped on board to see what the heck Becca's Models is all about. You know, crazy Becca with his wheels up aircraft and all that sort of stuff. Thank you to the old crew who stuck it out. I really hope your 2020 is now getting better going into the end of the year, and I really hope that 2021 is a great year for you. So until next time, happy modelling, and I'll see you later. Cheers.